something to screw up your weight balance. I'll stand up here at the camera.
Yeah.
Imagine that, black shirt and an albino head.
That's what it's gonna get.
Can't get any more weird.
Yeah. Rocky, how we living? We're living well. How are you, sir? Didn't add that much to it for the 20 viewers that we had. You know what I mean? So,
Do you want me to show you what it's going to look like when you're up there? Yeah, come on. Okay, so you're going to come up this side, okay?
Right.
And then, yeah, you'll cross, go across. This last step's a doozy, all right?
Good old step up.
Yeah, but you'll get introduced.
Yeah.
Okay? You're like first up, dude.
Okay, so I'm like right after.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay?
Oh, nice. All on one page.
And then your mama. Okay?
Sounds good.
And then it'll be the same thing tomorrow where, you know, you'll come up
Yeah.
here and if it's
Just
not
name a
on this
couple
page,
pages. Yeah.
it'll be on the next page, but it'll have
Got it.
your name and it'll have all your
Very
words.
nice.
So even if you want to practice, no one's listening, this isn't on.
Gotcha. Thank you
Okay.
very much. All right, that's very nice.
All right. Yeah, see why it's easier if it's like right in front of you and it's
Sure, yeah. And it's like, yeah, you don't have to bring it up.
Oh, I actually got to speak to him yesterday. Yes. So he actually, we talked about it after he invited me to my shop there. So I get to ask him a question. Let me know if he's a question. No, I actually babysit. So the same thing as I babysit.
know Damien knows how to say that. I would call Damien. Yeah.
Okay. Beauty. You like Do you have any special requests for
Yeah, I'll try to think of different colors, but you know what picture I got used?
Oh, yeah. Yes. That one was. Yeah. That was 2 years ago.
It's short.
Yeah.
I barely knew that one. I was over there. I saw it coming together. And I ran.
That one was
Trying
used.
to think if there's any other. I'll find that for the
Oh, his, yeah. Oh, sweat, yeah. That's the one.
are pretty easy. Right? Does
Well,
he have any hard ones?
yeah. Because he's like, how about this one? I'm like, you need to.
This one. Maybe it's California still in the I know that feels like it's a thing. That was it's not a thing. Okay. It's not a thing. Hey, Wendy. Okay. Oh, no worries. I think most of our events have a little yeah. Yes. If you could just make it through the introduction. Yes, he's going to introduce you. I feel like that. No, you know. Stay strong for that. Wait. Yeah, right? The circle of life. The circle of life. Exactly right. Yeah. How is it? I mean, it's hard to. This is also new. It's similar to the year before. We're a little bit more outside. Let's go there and riff about talk about the kid, you know, say something, which is good and bad. You know, it's very touching. Some people get off the rails. This year, I think oh, right. That was Valley, right? Playing. Stack it up together, yeah, put it in my pile together here this week. I'll send you a picture of Ryan. Okay, whatever lines up here. I still have plenty of books that I don't have to go buy. Over a year to buy them. I'll read that, I'll read that, I'll read that. What's up, Mr. Burningston? Arrowhead thing going on there? Where's this going? Yeah, wrap it up.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Can you hear me okay? Good. All right. Kiski families and friends, distinguished faculty and staff.
Is the microphone on? Ah, look at that. There we go. Well, good evening, everybody. Kiski families and friends, distinguished faculty and staff, and members of the class of 2023. Welcome to our Senior Awards program. This evening marks the beginning of our annual celebration of the senior class, and we are delighted to honor them and their numerous achievements and contributions to all that made this school year a memorable one. At this time, I'd like to invite Ben Feinstein to the stage, and he will introduce tonight's first speaker. Ben.
Thank you, Mr. Bonds. It is my pleasure to introduce tonight's parent speaker. When my dad and I started to really look into the possibility of coming to Kiski for high school, to be honest, she was a big skeptic. But wow, has she come around. The minute she stepped on campus during my visit, I remember her doing a complete 180. Ever since, she's been one of the biggest fans of the school I know. She and my dad together are the most significant influences in my life, and she has been my role model since I can remember. Without further ado, my mom, Wendy Feinstein.
Good evening, everyone. I have to say, I really appreciate the opportunity to speak as the parent speaker, and I speak in front of people for a living. I talk to judges, lawyers, juries all the time, and I never worry about choking up or crying in front of people, and tonight is intimidating, and especially having my baby introduce me. So thanks for bearing with me. He is my baby. He is. And now he's an adult. What are we doing? So I thought a lot about what I could talk to you all about as the parent speaker. You know, the parent speaker doesn't give the motivating speech. The parent speaker is here to talk about parent stuff, right? So at first I thought, maybe I'll tell the boys, you know, when you grow up, you should always call your parents. So when you grow up, you should always call your parents. And then I thought, you know, that's not really going to fill the time, so it's tempting. But then I thought I could tell some funny stories about Ben. Tempting, right? But I decided, okay, we'll save that for later during the reception, so see me later. So instead, I'll take a few moments to talk with you about this day from my perspective as a formerly skeptical Kiski parent, now a Kiski parent of a 4-year freak, as they used to be known. I don't know if folks still call them that. But for me, graduation is a time to reflect, a time to celebrate, and a time to look forward. And as I reflect on our time at Kiski, and Ben's right, I was really skeptical. The first word that comes to mind is grateful. I am so grateful for our Kiski experience. I'm grateful for this beautiful campus and this beautiful day and these beautiful facilities here. I'm grateful for the caring and outstanding faculty at the Kiski School. And I wish I could take the time to name and say a few words about each of them, but it really would take all night. But I do want to mention a few. I'm really grateful as a parent for Mr. Bruningson, Ms. Kennard, everyone in the health center, for all of their leadership and guidance in navigating the school through the pandemic. For this class in particular, that came at a critical time in their freshman year, and I'm hugely grateful for how they handled that. I'm extra grateful to Ms. Ackward, who's standing in the back and who will make me cry, but she reassured me when I first came to campus that it was gonna be okay to drop off my baby at this school and let him flourish. Not only am I thankful for that reassurance, but come on, aren't we all thankful for the parent page and all of the great pictures of our boys so we could see what they're up to? So, you know, that was very meaningful for me as a parent, so thank you, Ms. Hackford. And I'm extra grateful to Coach Laux. Without Coach Laux, our family would not be here. And so we're extra thankful to him for inviting us here, showing us the school, and really kind of roping in my husband and son and turning this skeptic into a huge Kiski fan. And come on, without Coach Laux, we wouldn't be the back-to-back-to-back state champs in soccer too, right? So thank you to Coach Laux, and I'm hugely grateful. The other thing I'm really grateful for is all of you, the parents and families who sent your sons here. I'm so grateful that you trusted this place, especially those of you from all over the world, from outside of Pennsylvania. You trusted this beautiful campus in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, with your sons. Thank you for that, because without your boys, Kiski would not be as special. So I'm hugely grateful to all of you for bringing your boys here and making this place what it is. And then it comes to the boys. I am really grateful for all of the Kiski boys, the current students, the students who welcomed this class here in the fall of 2019, taught them how to tie their ties, and over time taught them how to be Kiski boys. I'm grateful for all of the current students, but I'm especially grateful for the class of 2023. You all have become like family. You've pushed each other to be better students, better athletes, better people. I've been amazed by your friendly competition and by your support for one another. I first realized the gravity of that support during our first fall here, when I was streaming the state championship game in the fall of 2019. I was on a work trip and I was watching the game on my phone in a hotel room, kind of having a little pity party because I was sitting there watching it on the phone. And the microphone for the stream was really close to the other team's supporters. And all I could hear was them calling out the names of some kid named KD, who I couldn't figure out who it was. You couldn't hear anyone supporting Kiski until we scored and scored again. And then when we won, the roar was deafening. The cheer from the crowd supporting Kiski was unbelievable, and I couldn't hear anything before then. And then the stream stayed on, and to see the boys rush the field, celebrating that win, it was really a moving moment. And for me, one of the things that really demonstrates one of the things that I'm most grateful for, that moment. And it exemplifies our experience at Kiski since. Kiski boys going the extra mile, and in that case, the extra 100 miles, to support each other and celebrate each other's successes. And celebrating success is what we're here to do tonight and tomorrow. And as we celebrate you, class of 2023, I hope that you will also reflect on those who made it possible for you to be here, your parents and families, and those who fostered your accomplishments here at Kiski, the Kiski faculty and staff, and your classmates. And graduates, as we look forward to your next chapter, some of us will get misty-eyed, like me, but I hope that you all will have the confidence that you can handle anything that life throws at you. You're ready. You're ready for what's next. And you're ready for what's next because of the preparation you got here at Kiski with each other. And I hope that you'll find comfort in knowing that everyone here tonight, your Kiski family, is rooting for you and supporting you. And wherever life takes you, I hope you'll make it a little bit like Kiski. You all have very bright futures, and I can't wait to see what you all accomplish. And for now, let's celebrate your past accomplishments. Congratulations. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to call your parents.
Thank you, Wendy, for your thoughtful remarks. That was great. And thank you for everything that you and your family have done for Kiski to make this a better school. I'm now honored to welcome our faculty speaker tonight. It is Mr. David Buren, the chair of our science department and a true schools guy. Mr. Bo Buren, please come to the podium.
Hello, and welcome to everybody here. Students, your last night, faculty, friends, and most especially parents. And a big thank you to you parents for just entrusting your boys to us. That first step means so much to us as faculty at Kiski. It's a great thing. You know, when Mr. Burningston asked me to speak tonight, I'm like, oh no, what am I going to speak about? It's not my forte to do this kind of thing. And to be honest, I just have to talk about Kiski because, you know, I've been in a lot of schools over the years, and Kiski has been honestly more impactful on me as a student and a teacher than any of the places that I've been involved with, both as a student and a teacher. I was also a little surprised because I don't know if he realizes this, but I think 2 of the last 4 years, I think you actually have had a Shady Side alum give this talk. I don't think I'm supposed to say Shady Side again, but Coach Perry did it a couple of years ago. He was actually considered him my big brother growing up at Shady Side. And I think even Bob Grandizio, who worked at Kiski for a few years, has been mentioned in at least a few of the last years in these talks. But, you know, and I was also surprised because this past year for our family has been a very difficult year. And as a teacher and a coach, I really don't feel like I've been at my best. This is actually the first senior night that we've been to since we've been back, because we were at Kiski back in the 80s and 90s, and we were away for 20 years. And that first year back was COVID, and I don't even remember what we did. And then last year we were away because a year ago yesterday my dad passed away suddenly. And he and I were super close, and that was a difficult time for our family. And then so over the summer and fall, getting my mom set up, moving her here, and to be honest, you know, they were high school sweethearts. She really couldn't live without him and passed away in the fall. And so for the first time ever, I actually missed some school because of her funeral and going through all that piece. And then, not to add on the sad part, I'll get over the sad part in a minute, but over the winter, growing up at that other school, you know, the Grandizios and Burens were super close. And I could never call him Uncle Bob like my sisters did. You know, and Bob Grandizio spent, I think, 10 years here as admissions director. I actually worked for him for a few years as assistant in admissions and development. But he passed away over the winter. He was always Coach Grandizio to me. He was my high school and wrestling coach. He was my dad's best friend. And it was just really a rough time. You know, and so I'm kind of surprised in a year where I think I sort of struggled as a teacher and trying to put those things together. To be asked to speak, I was sort of surprised. But then on the other hand, you know, when you have a year like that, you take time to look back. And the first thing I think, you know, without any question, just on a personal side, you know, our family, that family's so important. My wife, Bramble, my sisters and I have always been close, but we are closer than ever now. How our family has come together. Our 4 kids, the 11 grandkids of my parents, and now 6 great-grandkids. Our family has really come together in a way, a family that was always super close, that is now kind of unlike anything else, and that's been fantastic. And this community is special. And to have the support of the students and the faculty as our family went through that year, I think was unlike anywhere else we could have been at that time. There's definitely somebody looking out for us in that time. And, you know, so I think back over that time, you know, I had, you know, especially my dad, most influential person in my life without any question, and Coach Grandizio, absolutely, my football coach, my wrestling coach, knew him since I was a little kid, you know, taught lessons that were so important to me that as I was learning and going through it, you know, and I continued those things. I went to college, I was a biochemistry major, I played a sport every single season, all 4 years, and, you know, so those things all carried through with me, and then I came here as a young teacher to work for Mr. Pigeon. You know, and Mr. Pigeon and Kiski just was so influential in my life at that time. You know, they say that, you know, when you teach something, you really learn it for the first time. And so being here as a young teacher at Kiski and being at a school that really works hard to teach certain things to boys in a way that I think is unlike any other, and to be a part of that, you see those pieces fit together in ways you never did before. And that for me was sort of enlightening as a teacher. And anywhere I've ever been since my early years at Kiski, and for Bram and I, anywhere we've ever been, everybody knows about Kiski without any question. And so much of what I believe about school and education and boys is a direct result of spending that time here and going through that from a teacher viewpoint as that happens. And this community is special. You know, and it was my first experience at an all-boys school coming from that other school. And so buying into that whole piece with it also was big. So I really bought into Kiski. Now, in no way, shape, or form do I think Kiski needs to return to 1987. If we had actually continued on those Sunday 1 o'clock Blues and Grays formal dinners at the beginning of the Steeler football games, that might have been a deal breaker, but but there are some things I think that have been important at Kiski that continue to this day that are really an important part of the school. And I love this place. I absolutely love this place, and I've taken those things with me wherever we've been. And the special people, as Bram and I were young faculty here, people that just, really took us in as young teachers, and I can't mention everyone, the Kozubs, the Crawfords, the Lombardos that kind of grew with our family, and they're actually godparents for our youngest child, and people that became such close friends, like the Musters, they're family, that just a part of who we are and our extended family, and our kids are friends and all those sorts of things. You don't get that kind of thing everywhere. And so I just want to talk about a couple of things about Kiski that I think are important, things that we do, just maybe examples that sort of explain maybe why we're a little bit different, because, we're not like a lot of other schools. And, the boss always used to give a speech, Mr. Pigeon, about happiness, and that happiness was under the, we're not here to make you happy. Well, we're really not, okay? And his talk would always go, if anyone tells you they're happy, they're not telling the truth, da-da-da-da-da. But his point was, if you look back in your life, and you look back at those times when you were working really hard, when you were accomplishing something, when you had goals set and you achieved something, you actually look back at those times and like, you know what, those were good times. We were really happy. That's what we're trying to do here. Put you in a place where you have goals and you're working hard and you're making those things happen. You're all sitting here tonight in your blues and grays. I love it. I do. Why do you have the dress code? Why do we wear coats and ties? Why do we wear blues and grays today and tomorrow? Why is that Kiski uniform something that's been there throughout the years? You can hear all sorts of things. Oh, it'll help you when you do business. And it is not to take away your identity. It's exactly the opposite. By having you all look similar, wearing the coat and tie, we force you to become an individual, force you to figure out who you are by making active choices rather than passive choices. Work hard in the classroom and be a good student. Be a heck of an athlete. Be a great artist. Just be a genuinely nice guy. But you do those things because of the active choices that you make, not because of the passive choices. Not because you're going to wear some t-shirt or hairstyle so someone gets a preconceived notion about you that already sets things up ahead of time. Define yourself by the things that you do that make yourself a better person. And that's a great thing about this place that we still do today. Athletics are a big part of Kiski. It's been a big part of my life. I mean, like I said, I played a sport every season in college. My dad was the athletic director at that other school. And so it's been a big part of what I do. I've coached sports my whole career. And sports teach so many things. And it doesn't matter where you are. The hard work, setting goals, teamwork, all those sorts of things that fit. But Kiski was always a little bit different. I remember as a young coach, I love the sport of wrestling. I think wrestling teaches so many great lessons for boys. The coach at that time, his name was Mike Brown when I started out, and one of his favorite comments, my kids, whoever's had me in class, whoever's had me as a coach knows this, don't be number two. Well, the quote is, there's two kinds of people in the world, those that get the job done and those that have excuses. And so the idea is don't be number two. Get the job done. Those lessons, those things, those values and traits are all things that will help you be successful in whatever you do down the road. Now, one of the things that's special at Kiski, though, is your coaches are also your teachers. They also live on campus. You see them in the dining hall with their families, right? And the idea is, it's easy to say a lot of you boys here have had a great experience with athletics, and athletics are an important part of your life, but you don't turn that on and off. You don't turn the passion you have for it on and off. You don't work only hard in sport, but then you don't work hard in the classroom. You give your best all the time in everything you do. And hopefully as teachers and mentors at a place like Kiski, I mean, so many schools, the coaches are separate from the outside, but here, we're here. I've always valued the fact that, you know, for the last 10 or so years I've been a head football coach. Having my football players in my AP or advanced chemistry class, or my football captains, I thought it's been fantastic. And the fact that we teachers try to model that same thing, both in the classroom and on the field. And it's the same lessons that you're learning no matter what it is. Doesn't matter where. Doesn't matter for what. Those lessons carry on in everything that you do. The hard work, the perseverance, the willing to put yourself out there, to take a chance, to fail and continue on. And it doesn't matter whether it's the athletic field, the classroom, and the arts, or anything else that you do. Just been talking so much, I've lost where I am. But, you know, one of those other distinctive features about Kiski, those lessons that you learn, our alumni are as passionate as any place about this school, and we've been at a lot of schools. And there's a reason why 50, 60, 70-year-old men call themselves Kiski boys and are happy to put on those blues and grays, because of the things that they learned while they were here. You know, one of our distinctive features is we're a boys' school, but I can tell you this. I have a son who would have been a great Kiski boy. But I also have 3 daughters. And the things that I learned here as a young teacher buying into the whole boys thing, I'm going to be honest with you. That's what all kids need. Those are the things that the same lessons are the same lessons I worked hard, and Mrs. Bjorn and I worked hard to teach our daughters, so that they are kids that work hard, so that they can be strong and independent, so that they can take responsibility and not be number two. Some of you guys see this now and you get it. Others of you don't. But at some point, the light will turn on, and you'll understand what this time here meant for you. The faculty and staff that you see around here, they are very special people. People here don't have a job. It's a way of life. It's like a calling that all revolves around you boys. We are all so excited for you right now about where you are and about where you're heading. For all of us, please keep in touch. We still want to be a part of what you continue to do as you move on. So finally, to wrap it up, you know, we moved back in 2020 with a pandemic. And my daughter was a senior in college that year, never had a graduation. And so we surprised her. Her boyfriend took her out, brought her back. All this, we had a cap and gown for her. We had chairs set up on the front lawn. We had a house that had a big front porch. We had the big podium on the front porch. My dad came in as the speaker. He had the whole cap and gown thing because he was the chair of the board at SUNY Morrisville. I had the cap and gown from the school that I was at, and we did a whole graduation ceremony for her. It was pretty awesome. People driving by on the roads, honking, all that sort of stuff. It's actually one of my favorite graduations. But I'm going to say the same thing to you that I said to her at that time. And it's really just a continuation of what I think Kiski is about. And to be honest, it's not a thing you hear a lot at graduation. A lot of times at graduations, you'll hear people say, follow your passion. I'm not going to tell you to follow your passion. Take it with you. Take your passion with you. Whatever you do, whatever job you have, whatever class you're taking, whatever sport you're in, whatever play, it doesn't matter what it is, take your passion with you, even if it's your summer job. Show up early. Stay late. Volunteer for the tougher extra work. Become indispensable. Don't waste your time worrying about what may happen down the road or something that may not even happen. Most of all, stop worrying about your happiness. Real happiness doesn't come from an external piece. It comes from knowing what you truly value and behaving in a way that's consistent with those beliefs. Always give your best no matter what you're doing. So class of 2023, congratulations. We're all excited for you. We're here supporting you and can't wait to see what you do down the road. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Buren. Tonight's academic award recipients have been chosen by the faculty. We are proud to recognize these students for their dedication to scholastic achievement. Gentlemen, as I call your name, please enter the stage to my left, pause for a photograph as you accept your award, and then continue to my right and return to your seat. Our first award tonight is the Zachary J. Vlahos Award in History. And this goes to Charles Francisco Sanchez. The John A. Lombardo World Languages Award goes to Matthew Marinello. The Carl L. Arnold Award in Mathematics goes to Jefferson Bertanis Deska. The Eugene L. Biddle Award for Excellence in Science goes to Ian Bigler. The Joseph H. Millar Award in English goes to Jacob Conti. The Excellence in Fine Arts Award goes to Donovan Callahan. The Excellence in Drama Award goes to Richard Akigo. The Creative Writing Award goes to Joseph Hess.
Joe.
The award in music goes to Jacob Conti. This next award is the Boards Improvement Award, and this is given to a member of the senior class who has shown marked improvement throughout the year in academics, athletics, and extracurricular activities. I'm pleased to present this year's award to Alex Donley. All right, it is now my pleasure to present the Good Citizenship Award issued by the office of State Senator Joe Pittman of Pennsylvania to two deserving students. Recipients of this award exemplify the qualities of outstanding character and leadership. By recognizing these students, we will be encouraging them to continue to develop the fine qualities that they already possess. Please congratulate Lachlan McElveen and Ian Bigler as recipients of the Good Citizenship Award. And it is now my pleasure to introduce our Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Mrs. Carla Ross.
The Culture Pot is a diversity club which promotes leadership and helps students become informed about the world we live in. Throughout the year, this organization hosts guest speakers and facilitates campus-wide areas of focus and celebrates multicultural heritage. These graduating seniors are recognized for their consistent leadership and year-long initiatives. This year's winners of the Culture Pot Leadership Award are Solomon Bai and Gopatap Singh. Can we give them a hand?
Picture job, bro.
I'm honored to introduce our next guest, Major Kennedy, from the Kiski class of 2013. Upon his graduation, Mr. Kennedy advanced to Drexel University, where he received his undergraduate degree in marketing and entrepreneurship, his master's degree in sport coaching leadership. He currently lives in Washington, D.C., and is employed in the medical device sales industry. Always a leader, Mr. Kennedy was a dual sport captain at Kiski before becoming a class captain and a member of the Board of Visitors. He is now leading the way for young scholars by creating the Kennedy Scholar Athlete Award in 2022 to support young boys and girls from underrepresented groups with scholarship funding and his mentoring network. I am pleased to welcome Mr. Kennedy to the podium to introduce our second Kiski awardee.
Good evening. It is with great pride that I represent the Kennedy Scholar Athlete Award and Foundation. Although this is the second year of my partnership with Kiski, I was unable to make it last year due to work obligations. I find it fitting, however, that I'm presenting for the first time 10 years later from the week I graduated 10 years ago. It's funny how things come full circle. When I came up with this idea to start this foundation, I thought to myself, where and who can I put my resources into and pay for the impactful assistance that I received as a kid? The first thing that came to my mind was Kiski. I'm not going to bore you with all the stories, the good and the bad from Kiski. I'm sure that the faculty that remains here today could tell you all about it. Sorry, Ms. Ackford and Coach Stock, for all those long days and nights in Sheasley Hall, now called Hogue Hall. I credit Kiski for helping mold me into the young man I am today, and I am forever grateful for the impact this school had on me. I will always be a Kiski Cougar for life, and there's no other community I'd rather be a part of. I want to thank my board members, Coach Damian Williams, Ms. Leslie Poston, and my Kiski mom, Ms. Carla Ross. I appreciate all three of you more than you know. I also want to thank Mr. Salaji and Mr. Brunison for making this possible and partnering with my organization. I want to thank my father who's here in the stands, and also I want to thank my mom who was not able to make it today for always supporting me, as well as countless other Kiski brothers I've made. It's funny, a lot of my friends that I made at Kiski don't talk to me anymore, but they contact my parents every holiday. Funny how that works. And last but not least, I want to give a special thank you to Mark Roldhamel. A lot of people have no idea the work that Mark put in behind the scenes to make this partnership happen. Even when I slowed down and became discouraged, Mark kept the needle moving. And for that, I'm forever appreciative. Okay, enough of the mushy stuff. Now for the second CSA award. This award will receive financial assistance during each of his next 8 college semesters, along with mentoring from me and my professional network. They also will have access to what we call an interview fund, which will allow them to be reimbursed up to a certain amount for all clothes and shoes that they buy for internships and for interviews. I'm pleased to present the Kennedy Scholar Athlete Award to William Mitchell.
This year, Kiski's proud tradition of sending young men to the United States Naval Academy continues with these young men. Andrew Boblitz, Matthew Marinello, and Nicholas Mendiolaza. Please come to the stage. These 3 young men have done more than just earn a scholarship to college. They have committed themselves selflessly to serving our nation. Kiski has a long tradition with the United States Naval Academy Foundation. And currently there are more Kiski graduates who have enrolled at the Naval Academy at Annapolis than from any other high school in the country. The admission and academic offices at Kiski partner with the foundation to craft a curriculum that will prepare our candidates for the Naval Academy for the rigors they will encounter once they matriculate to Annapolis. We are proud to continue that long line again this year by recognizing these young men with their appointments to the United States Naval Academy. Congratulations on all of your accomplishments, and we look forward to hearing from you about your new challenges and adventures in your very bright future. I speak for everyone in attendance when I say thank you for your role as commissioned officers in the service of your country. And now our head of school, Mr. Bruningsson.
Good evening. I'm very honored to recognize the following students for their good work and outstanding achievements. The Harry Stuhldreher Award is given in memory of Harry Stuhldreher, class of 1920, to that member of the senior class who's made an outstanding contribution to the school's athletic program. I'm pleased to present this award to Ben Feinstein. The William McKillop Award is presented to a member of the graduating class who, in the opinion of the faculty, has at all times displayed chivalrous conduct on the athletic field. This year's winner is Suleiman Ba. The E. William Turley Jr. Memorial Award is given in loving memory of Bill Turley, class of 1964, to a member of the senior class who most closely embodies the qualities of gentleness, propriety, and concern for others, so personified in Mr. Turley. This year's recipient is Christian Mears. The Jacob Ziegler Award is presented to a member of the senior class who, in the opinion of the faculty, has contributed the most cheer to the school year. Pleased to present this award to Ian Bigler. He just contributed some cheer to me. Thank you. That's nice. The Russell C. Swank Jr. Award is given in memory of Russ Swank, class of 1942, to a member of the senior class whose optimistic outlook and positive school spirit has been of beneficial impact to his classmates and to our school. I'm pleased to present this award to Paul Singh. The Kiski International Award is presented to an international student who's a member of the senior class and who's made significant contributions to the school community through his proven leadership and active participation in organizations and extracurricular activities. This year's winner is Josue de Leon Sabala. The Bates Award is given in memory of William Palmer Bates, class of 1929, killed in service to his country in 1945. It is awarded to a member of the senior class who most exemplifies the qualities of honor, sacrifice, and concern for others through dedication to his school and country. I'm proud to present the Bates Award to Matthew Marinello. The William V. Greer Award is presented in memory of William Greer, class of 1914, to a member of the senior class who has compiled the highest scholastic average. Please join me in congratulating the valedictorian of the class of 2023, Ben Feinstein.
Ben, you have to hold on to this one. The big bull.
The Faculty Appreciation Award is presented in recognition of qualities of citizenship and personal responsibility that have made the lives and duties of the faculty worthwhile and rewarding. I'm pleased to present this award to 3 students, Andrei Maltsev, Xavier Marceau, and Seven Gillingham. The Andrew W. Wilson Award is presented in memory of Kiski's first headmaster to a member of the senior class who best exemplifies the principles on which Dr. Wilson's beloved school was founded: faith, humility, and tolerance. This year's award is presented to Lachlan McLevine. The John A. Pigeon Headmasters Award is presented to a member of the graduating class who, in the opinion of the faculty and through exemplary accomplishments, dedicated leadership, and uncompromising habits of mind and heart, embodies the admirable qualities and high standards of Mr. John A. Pigeon, who served the Kiski School as teacher, coach, and headmaster for 45 years. I'm proud to present this award to Ben Feinstein. The Kiski Award is presented to a member of the graduating class who, in the opinion of the faculty and the head of school, through his scholastic achievement, Leadership, breadth of interest, and high personal standards has been of great value to the school. It's an honor to present this award to Suleiman Ba. I am very pleased to have a chance to share some remarks with the class of 2023 tonight. Over the past few months, I've been thinking a lot about all of you and about your generation, Generation Z. Without encouraging any generalizations or stereotypes, here are a few things I learned. Generation Z, born between 1997 and 2012, that's all of you, except for Lazar, who, as you know, is actually 28 years old. Good job. Flying under the radar, Lazar. Your generation is often portrayed as digital natives who are addicted to screens and inextricably connected to technology. I've confirmed this through my own independent research of sample size 1, based on all the times I had to confiscate Nando's phone during math class. Oh, Nando. Oh, Nando. But your generation also has many strengths that set you apart from previous generations. A USA Today survey found that Gen Z is the most financially responsible generation, with 73% saying they've already started saving for retirement. You've grown up in a time of increased political polarization, and that's informed your positive activism for social causes. Another strength is your keen entrepreneurial spirit. In a recent survey of college students, 42% said they plan to own their own business. I sent a survey of my own to the senior class a few weeks ago, consisting of one single question. At this point in your life, what matters most? 90% of the seniors responded, and the top two answers were exactly tied: friends and family and future financial success. I gave the same survey back in 2009, and the outlook of that group of millennial generation seniors was a little bit different. That is, by the way, Mr. Bond's generation. Far and away, family and friends was the top choice, with future financial success finishing at the very bottom. When I shared those results during my 2009 speech, I knew that parents in the audience would be conjuring up images of their sons returning home after college to live in their basements. And I felt compelled to remind them something that's worth reminding all the parents of the audience about again today, and that is that no matter what happens, Kiski tuition is non-refundable. There's nothing wrong with wanting future success, but the 2009 and 2023 results underscore a shift in priorities from the millennials to Gen Z. One characteristic both generations share is a tendency to be impulsive, from spontaneous purchases driven by social media trends to career transitions based on immediate passions. Impulsivity has its advantages, like adaptability and creativity, but it's also important to develop self-awareness and practice good decision-making. And it's true, success in life really boils down to making good choices. I've been teaching teenage boys for over 30 years, and in that time I've witnessed and celebrated many admirable characteristics that make boys so enjoyable to work with. Thinking it through is not on the long list of those commendable traits. And yet its absence is one of the best things about working with boys. You're adventurous and spontaneous, and you often leap before you look. And if you can harness that energy, that's where the magical part of teaching boys happens. In college, you'll be faced with lots of situations where you'll need to think it through and make good choices. You'll have much more freedom than you have had at Kiski and New Temptations to make unwise decisions. And we know that little boys often make poor choices, usually with no malicious intent. A week ago, our 10-year-old son, Sam, decided to pump as much air as he could into his basketball. Somehow, he managed to inflate it to 100 pounds per square inch. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with basketballs, the recommended inflation is 8 psi. So he was dribbling this ball on the way to the outdoor courts over there, and it exploded. An extremely loud bang that echoed all over campus, and he actually got some basketball shrapnel wounds on his hands and his belly. He's fine now, and I'm not kidding when I say the ringing in, this happened a week ago, the ringing in his ears is almost gone. He felt badly about the whole thing afterwards, and he said what parents of sons have heard so many times: "Dad, I never thought that could happen." The road to adulthood for young men is littered with questionable choices, including one notable one that Sam's dad made when he was your age. The summer after I graduated from high school, before I went to college, I spent a lot of time with two friends, Frank and Parag. We were good kids for the most part, but at the time, street signs were a popular decoration for college dorm rooms. I hope that's no longer the case. So we got this idea that we would procure a few signs before we left for college. Late one Saturday night, we set out on our mission. I was driving my borrowed dad's Ford LTD station wagon, complete with wood paneling on the side. Oh, it was a sweet ride. We navigated to a quiet neighborhood where most of the houses were dark and set our sights on a stop sign that was at one of the intersections. Frank was 6'5". I climbed on his shoulders and we went to work on the sign with a wrench. Parag was the lookout. We removed the sign, put it in back of the station wagon, covered it with a blanket, and since it was getting late, we decided to head home and venture out again the next weekend to get a sign for Parag. Early the next morning, my dad was standing over my bed saying, "Wake up." And he wasn't using his friendly dad voice. "There's a stop sign in my trunk." Still kind of groggy with sleep, I said, "Yeah, that's mine." And answering my dad with a tone that said, "What's the big deal?" was never a good strategy. After I explained how I got the sign, he said, so you stole it?" And I said, "Well, I guess technically, yes." My dad was a very practical, common sense kind of guy, and he was not a big fan of technicalities. He said, "You're a smart kid, and that sign's there for a reason, so people stop at the intersection." And I can remember looking at him as if to say, "So?" And he went on, "If there's no stop sign, somebody doesn't stop, they could crash into a car coming the other way, and somebody could get killed." And I can tell you with 100% honesty that until he said that, until that moment, that thought had never occurred to me. Dad had already put a folding ladder in his trunk, and in a matter of minutes I was dressed and we were driving back to the scene of the crime in broad daylight. And it was raining. I climbed up the ladder and reattached the sign, and we drove home in silence. The next weekend, Frank called me to schedule a time for me to pick them up for part 2 of our caper, getting a sign for Parag. Of course, obviously, my Ford LTD privileges had been indefinitely suspended, but I was too embarrassed to tell him the story, so I just said I couldn't go. They went without me, and, true story, a neighbor spotted them in the act of stealing the sign, called the police, and they both got arrested. They spent the night in jail, pled guilty to theft of public property, paid a fine, and were assigned a couple dozen hours of community service. Their parents were furious. And it didn't take me long to realize how narrowly I'd escaped the punishment I deserved. Lesson learned, make better choices. The easy solution is not to put yourselves in situations where you might be tempted to make careless decisions. That's easier said than done, since being spontaneous is always more fun. But there's a difference between spontaneity and recklessness. My point isn't that teenage boys are inherently irresponsible and make bad decisions. My reassuring message tonight is that your school and your parents and your classmates and your friends have hopefully equipped you to make good choices. In your time here, you've had a chance to practice habits of good decision making. You've also faced challenges and made some mistakes, but you've learned from them. You have the power to shape your future through the choices you make. Embrace your values, surround yourself with positive influences, and prioritize your well-being. Trust your instincts and seek advice and guidance from trusted friends and mentors, and remember that each choice you make is a stepping stone towards your future. So choose wisely and let your decisions reflect the person you want to be. It's no secret that we have a great deal of affection for the class of 2023. You're a special group of seniors, and saying goodbye to you tomorrow is going to be very tough. The teachers and coaches and advisors you've encountered on this campus, we've all done our best to prepare you for a successful future, and we know you'll make us very proud. Good luck, and God bless all of you.
Much of tonight recognized the good work and accomplishments from your time at Kiski. At this point, I would like you to think briefly about the future, and I would like to introduce Steve Szilagyi, Associate Head of School for Institutional Advancement.
Thank you, Mr. Bonds, and to the class of 23, congratulations. We love you guys. We're going to miss you guys a lot, so please stay in touch. And to the parents, congratulations to you all. We thank you for entrusting your sons to the Kiski School, and as was said earlier, we have done the best we can, and we know they'll make us all proud. Mrs. Feinstein alluded to this earlier. I'm just curious, how many four-year freaks do we have in this class? And if you're a four-year freak, please stand up. Excellent. Those guys deserve a special round of applause. Well done, guys. It is indeed my honor and my pleasure to inform you that the following Kiski seniors have been elected to serve as class captains for the class of 2023. Would the following young men please approach the stage? Suleiman Ba. Josue de Leon Sabala. John Hart. Lachlan McElveen. Richard Okugo. Wyatt Wiggins. So this accomplished and very special group of Kiski boys has agreed to work diligently and directly with their classmates to keep them connected to Kiski, as well as to the goals and the mission of the school's Institutional Advancement Office. Serving as a class captain is a very important and consequential role for a Kiski graduate. To be sure, we are thrilled that this group of Kiski boys has agreed to work with us and to dedicate much of his time, his talent, and his passion for Kiski and our institutional advancement efforts designed and implemented to keep Kiski strong, growing, and vibrant for many, many years to come. Tomorrow, the class of 2023 will officially join the Kiski alumni community. And these class captains will help their entire class to fully integrate into the powerful national and international networks of Kiski alumni for their personal benefit and indeed for the greater good of Kiski as well. This evening, I will be handing a very special Kiski class lapel pin to each new class captain. This pin is a small but very important token of the school's appreciation for and celebration of each class captain's services that will be forever dedicated to Kiski and the school's important educational mission. These lapel pins are presented to the class captains from the Office of Advancement and from the Kiski School. Now please join me in acknowledging, thanking, and indeed celebrating this strong and very special group of class leaders for all of their accomplishments, for their loyalty, their dedication, and their service to their classmates, to the advancement team, and to the Kiski School.
Sir Richard, I see you, Rich.
Sorry, I have forgotten one of my favorite guys, whose name was there, and I just went right over it. You know, he's been up here so many times, but he's coming up again. Benny, come on up. Ben Feinstein. And Christian Mears. It's a hearty group. It's a big group. Anyone else I forget? Thanks, guys.
All right, a couple announcements to wrap things up here. Graduation is tomorrow, and it will be held right here beginning at 11 a.m. Faculty members, we are going to meet at 10:30 a.m. We'll wear our caps and gowns, and we'll meet in Old Main at 10:30. Seniors, you have 3 commitments remaining, and these are very important. We need to make sure tomorrow's activities go as planned. First, we need you to attend a special breakfast in your honor in the Swank Student Center at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. At the breakfast, you'll get your special graduation tie. Secondly, a senior class photo will be taken on the steps of Old Main at 10 a.m. tomorrow, right at the Salzburg Overlook. Please come dressed in your graduation attire for the photo. This means a clean white shirt, a blue blazer, gray dress pants, dark socks, dress shoes, and a belt. Please make sure that you have also shaved. This can be the last time in your life you shave, but do it tomorrow morning. Third, after we line up, you will process to your commencement, where we will confer our highest award, a Kiski School diploma. Thank you again for this exceptional evening, and we look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Good night.